I'm Tim Connolly, a poet of the Lost War. Welcome. The plane glides slowly through the clouds, my heart thumping, stomach turning, mind racing. Out the window, a lush green, blue water, white puffs of smoke in the distance. Landing in hell, but it seems like paradise. The door opens, a massive wave of heat overwhelms. This surely is hell. I won't have far to go when I die. 91 Charlie. I didn't know their names. They weren't people. They were gunshot wound lower back, multiple frag wound, traumatic amputation or KIA. I beat on their chest, breathed my air into their lungs, and held their bleeding arteries in my naked hands. I watched them suffer. I watched them die. I put them in bags. I took them to a shed. They had names, but that was no concern of mine. I had a job to do. I couldn't let that stuff get to me or I would no longer be of any use. Beyond the wire. He hated the damn heat. What was out there beyond the wire? Some evil little man or woman plotting his demise? By day it looked so green and peaceful, but at night that all vanished into a black wall. He sat alone, not knowing what he would do if anything happened. Every little noise made him turn. He could hear the war in the distance. Would it come closer tonight? He watched the flares float along this night sky. An explosion. He jumped. It was off to the right. He heard small arms fire. Another flare. He didn't know what the hell was going on. The helicopter gunship fired into the blackness. The tracer rounds danced in the air, so surreal. He sat and watched, too fascinated to be scared. Guard duty again in 2 days. He hated this shit. Day after day. Mornings begin in a rosy light, brightened by the night's rains. You can see as well as feel the warm dampness that clings to everything. There's a freshness in the air, and the dew hangs from the plants. Distant sounds from the jungle blend into a chorus. He wakes between the damp sheets and climbs out of bed and looks out the window of his hooch. It was going to be another long, hot, busy day in hell. Delayed death syndrome. Vietnam killed him nearly 40 years after he came home. He thought he knew his enemies over there, the Viet Cong, the North Vietnamese. Nobody ever told him that cancer might kill him someday, but it did. He rarely talked about Vietnam and the war that eventually took his life. He was 69 when he died from lung cancer, a result of exposure to Agent Orange. His story was typical. He lived the American dream, played by the rules. A hard rain fell at his memorial. The raindrops, the tears of veterans falling from heaven. Home without a home. I travel with a heavy backpack strapped across my shoulders and a plastic bag of clothes. When you are homeless, there are things you carry, and tucked away somewhere are the memories of a war that are still fresh. No yellow ribbons greeted me when I returned home. Now I soldier on each day, trying to find some place to call my own, riding late-night buses to shelters only to be rousted out at dawn. A private first class, now a second-class war veteran, walking the dark streets. Home, but without a home. I'm Tim Connolly, a poet of the Lost War.